the VShojo contract got leaked. Yeah, we're going over right now. This is gonna be great. Yes. I wanna bro. I'm like, I can't find it anywhere, but I can't find it there. I was searching for the actual document, but oh well, it's legal mindset. So he does. As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't do anything to steer us wrong. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch some of the video. It is an hour long. I don't think we're gonna watch the whole thing, but I don't think we're gonna watch the whole thing. It is a short stream, and I'm really not wanting to spend the whole time on it. But if we do, we do. Okay, so yeah, it is a short stream. So tomorrow will be our long stream because it's the beginning of my weekend. Just want to hang out. I appreciate it, Noctis. Thank you. I love it when y'all come and hang out.
This is
Right.
from an employee. Okay. Terminated from VShojo.
Oh,
So very clearly, this is not a talent.
okay,
This
not a
is
talent
not
contract.
a talent.
Okay.
This is not a talent. This is not a talent. Right. And also, I'm just going to put this one up here. I'm not trying to call you out, but clearly I'm not going to disclose this. Obviously, like this is an obvious question, right? If I was to disclose this, right, they could really come after the person. So what you have to understand is
looking to do the work.
my
Okay,
first
fair enough.
concern is protecting the talent or the employee. So I cannot let you know who that is because they will 100% try to come for them. They're going to be very salty. Gun Run is going to have a bad day after he sees this stream. He's not going to like it, right? It's not Iron Mouse, people. Yes, it's not Iron Mouse, people. However, hold up. I did review a VShojo talent contract before. However, when I
Oh,
did that, part of my agreement was it would be completely confidential and I would never leak it to the public. So
okay.
I've seen a talent contract. So what I'm going to tell you and what I can say without breaching any agreements or anything else is saying there are certain provisions in here, which we'll get to, that are exactly the same as the talent contracts.
Okay.
This
Fair
is
enough.
also a
Fair enough.
separation agreement. It's not an employment agreement. It's the agreement you sign when you're fired or when you're separated. I guarantee you all that right now, Gun Run and his lackeys are trying to push similar versions of this agreement in front of all the talents that have not spoken up yet. All of the ones that might be litigating, that might be still quiet. I guarantee you that if they haven't done it already, they're trying to push similar versions of this to all of them. So while, yes, this is an employee, there probably is a version with some differences that they're going to try to put in front of Iron Mouse, that they're going to try to put in front of Kason. I don't
that
know
they
for
can't
sure,
enforce because apparently they don't have the money for it.
but it's a pretty good guess, guys.
That they don't because they don't have the money for it.
Good guess.
I'm gonna go ahead and kill the chat
remember,
for now.
there's a lot of this that's going to be the same. And there's some reveals in here, like their choice of law, like their lawyers. Oh, yeah, we found out they actually have lawyers, right?
Wait, how can they afford lawyers? They can't even afford bankruptcy. I thought they couldn't afford bankruptcy, but now they can afford lawyers? Weird. Sus. I wish I had the sus noise fucking soundbite on me right now, but okay, that was my bad impression.
Some of the other non-disparagement clauses, which really explain why the talent does not want to speak on YouTuber X, because that non-disparagement clause is really big. It's really big.
Oh, and non-disparagement clauses is like after, like if you leave, you can't sit here and talk bad about the company. You can't say anything that hurt the company, image. Yeah, it's like you can't, like, non-disparagement clauses are basically yeah, so they fired me, and so here's what's really going on, and fucking these people actually suck and actually suck. And, it's literally you can't talk trash about the company if you're separated. Non-disparagement clauses.
This I guarantee you matches what they're trying to push.
And it's from it's probably the biggest fucking part of the contract too. It's probably the biggest part of the contract. There is like non-disparagement clauses are probably it's probably going to be like a laundry list of things that you can't say if you're fired, and it's going to be like the biggest part of the contract. I can almost I almost bet. And now again, to reiterate what he said, that this is a separation contract, not a hiring contract, which is, unfortunate because, I was kind of hoping this was the hiring contract. I was also hoping this was a talent contract, but eh, whatever. Can't win them all.
So this is pretty big. Don't be scared, guys. We'll walk through it together. We're here together. I got you. I got you.
You got us.
So
You
we're going
got
to
us,
cover the
chat.
relevant portions. I am privating out and redacting private info, so you're going to see black bars there. So just stay with me, stick with me. We'll be all right. James for two says we are legally obligated to be the nicest chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That is, in fact, you know what?
That is true.
Statement.
Hello, beso department.
We gotta promote positivity, guys. There's enough negativity out there in the world. We gotta be positive, educational, entertaining, and you can have fun. If everyone's positive, we can all be having fun. Let's continue here. Here's the agreement. It's a separation and release of claims agreement. I'm going to be reading most of the text here. Once again, in the fast facts, I go through this quickly, but I'm going to read it all. So this is a separation and release of claims agreement entered into between VShojo, a Delaware corporation,
Wait, a
and
Delaware?
the employee. So
all you motherfuckers living in the Bay Area, and you set up a company in Delaware. I wonder. Now I'm really curious why.
What does that say? So think about this. VShojo, and many corporations do this. VShojo is a California headquartered company. All of their assets, their corporate headquarters is in California. They have their corporation registered in Delaware. And their choice of law is in a third state. It's in a third state that's not Delaware, and it's not California. So they are doing the maximum possible, which once again is not illegal. It's totally legal.
Okay.
But they are doing the maximum possible to try to what's called forum shop. They want to be in California because, we're around tech. We're cool. We're in California.
Right.
But then use Delaware law because it's more favorable to corporations, although the law in Delaware is changing, right? Some people like Elon Musk and X have a problem with Delaware corporate law, and they've decided to go to other states.
Gotcha.
And then they use a third state for their labor law and their lawsuits because they're afraid. They fear California law. They fear the labor protections in California. They fear the non-compete clause restriction in California. Do you guys know in California, you cannot have a non-compete? Fun fact. We're going to talk about that.
Interesting.
Later. So,
bro, non-compete clauses fuck over people. So contractors so bad. When I was a contractor, and in Virginia, right? One of the things that they like contractors, your contract can be, as a contractor, your contract can expire or be annulled at any point in time. You could be working one day, and then the next day they're like, yeah, you know what? We'd have too many of you guys. You guys are gone. But the non-compete clause stays in effect. And my non-compete clauses were like 6 months long, which meant I couldn't work in my field of expertise for 6 months. Because of that, that was the absolute first time in my life I ever had to get on welfare, and I fucking hated it. Now, I genuinely believe that there are some people who kind of need the help that comes from welfare, but I am not one of those people. Okay, I am not one of those people. I can work. I can work. I'm able-bodied. I can get myself a job. I don't need welfare. I don't need a government handout, and which is why, I kind of was so apprehensive about going to get my military disability, because of the fact that I saw it as another form of welfare. It's not. You actually earn your disability. It's actually the government paying you back for beating the shit out of you, in the military. But, and I had to change my thinking on it. But, 6 months of not being able to work in my field of expertise absolutely sucked. Absolutely sucked. And, I had to go and do that several times, where it was just like, I would literally have to beg my parents for money every month so I can eat. or, you know, literally put the fries in the bag for 6 months until I got another contract. Barely able to pay rent and everything. This is when I used to pay rent. Now I have a house that's paid off and I don't have to pay rent no more. But the thing is like I don't have to pay rent or a mortgage. But the thing is like yeah, it absolutely fucking blew because it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, we don't need y'all anymore. So bye. Hell, one contractor nearly stranded me in a completely different state. I was in South Carolina doing a contract, and the contract fell through. And I called up the company. I'm like, "You're sending me home, right?" Because I was still staying in a hotel that they put me in, and I was like, "Y'all are sending me home, right?" And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I am out. You guys put me in a completely different state. You dropped my contract. I'm in a hotel that I can't pay for. I'm in a, you're sending me home, right? You know, at the very bare minimum, if you're gonna fire me while I'm in the middle of a contract, you know, for 3, 4 states away, like, you're just gonna leave me here? You're just gonna dump me here and be like, "Oh, yeah, find your own way home?" No, 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 no. You're sending me home. They eventually got me a plane ticket for the next day, but oh, yeah, I had to, kick and scream for that one. Yeah, that one kinda sucked.
They are all over the place. So after the date, the employee will not represent itself as being an employee, officer, agent, or representative of the employer. So that's very important. They have to say publicly, "Hey, I'm no longer an employee." Except as otherwise set forth, the separation date is the termination date, meaning the employee is not titled to further compensation, monies, or benefits from the employer, including
Right,
coverage under any benefit plan or programs.
right,
So they're trying to say, hey, after this date, you cannot come after us for any other wages, benefits, health insurance, retirement, whatever. You're done. If you didn't get reimbursed as of this agreement, as this date, we're done. And this is important because if the talents, for example, going into the talent contracts, if the talents have not signed this, the talents can still argue that theoretically they're owed money up until VShojo pays it to them, and they're owed benefits up until VShojo pays it to them because they are unpaid. So they can continue to accrue fines and penalties because hey, they've never paid them, so they still owe them.
right.
So this is very, very, very important. It may seem like it's mundane, but it's not. I
Alright, we're
like the
about
Spike Man. What's up for 20? Since back in the Niji days, I remember Spike Man coming through big. This is so dumb. Gun Run and Co covered bases. Yeah, and they've been covering bases for a while, and
alright.
trying to keep people silent, but it's not working. The dam is
We're
breaking.
gonna pause the video because we're about to go into an ad
Let's talk about this. Now this
in
is
about
pretty
20
standard.
seconds.
Return of property. So you guys
Yeah.
probably, if you've worked at a job, you've had a job with a corpo or something like that. You've probably had to return stuff like keys, access cards, badges, laptops, computers, telephones, mobile phones,
Yeah.
handheld electronic devices, credit cards, electronically stored documents, files, physical files, and sensitive property. That's normal. So that's number one.
I'm gonna pause the video here because about to go into the ads. But yeah, for those without the ads, like now I think only one contract I got fired from. I don't even know what I did. Apparently, what I did was so egregious. I have no idea what I did, but apparently it was so egregious that they fired me outright. I don't again never told what happened, never told never really corrected or informed on what happened. It was just one of those things where I guess I pissed off a person and they didn't want me there anymore. I have no idea how that happened. What led that on. But yeah, I remember walking in one day, sitting down at my desk, couldn't log in. And I guess the moment I logged in, they noticed that I was in the building and they walked me out. And like they walked me out like I had to surrender my badge, had to surrender the ID card that I had. Um, employee laptop and stuff like that. Any kind of gear that I carried on me that kind of belonged to the company. They tried to take stuff that didn't even belong to them. I was like, no, that's mine. Are you sure? Yeah, yeah, yes, I'm very positive that's mine. You know, hell, I mean, they barely gave me time to even collect my own stuff. They barely did. They were just really quick about getting me out that building. I don't, again, I have no idea what I did. But it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, we walk in like the fact that they waited till I walked in that day to find out that I was no longer working for them. It was like y'all could have just called me on the phone and be like, okay, well, I'll come. Whatever.
On here, return of
Actually,
property.
well, I mean,
But
most of
what
y'all
I'm
don't
really
don't get
interested
that,
in
so
here
screw it. We'll keep going.
is electronically stored files and documents. What I am curious about here is
Yo, what kind of wait, electronically stored files and documents? Is that like their VTuber models? Does that include their VTuber models? Well, some of them got to keep their models, but I know VShojo had like different contracts about uh had different contracts about, uh you know, this is a great picture for a thumbnail. I'm gonna save this picture. I'm gonna save this picture. Anyways, so yeah, with like electronically stored files and documents. So like I know some VShojo members had contracts where they didn't get to keep their models. Most of them did. Like the bigger ones have been around for a while. Yeah, they did. But holy crap.
did VShojo make them send back assets, particularly assets that maybe were partially completed or were recent, etc., because they may have said, hey, you've got to send us back because we didn't fully transfer the asset. We didn't fully give you this. So we're going to take that back. Did VShojo try to claw back those electronic files? Because an asset, a digital asset, part of a model or VTuber model, that is an electronically stored file. So there is an argument that VShojo would try to take things back. I don't know whether they actually did that or not, but the contract does give them that flexibility, right? Yes, incomplete scans. Exactly. Crimson Splat, thank you for the 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Appreciate that so much. And crypto site Sioneka says, how likely were you to join VShojo upon your VTuber debut before this explosion? 0%. Didn't they not take mails? Don't they not take mails? Didn't they not take mails? But anyways, beyond that, I wouldn't have joined VShojo. That wouldn't have been the one I joined. There's other agencies, and perhaps there'll be an agency I work with in the future that
Wait. Legal Mindset has a VTuber model? I gotta find this.
that works out. But yeah, no, I would not join VShojo. They would not have been my choice. Employee representations. Employee representations. This means stuff the employee has to promise. This is also important. The employee specifically represents and warrants and confirms that they have not filed any claims, complaints, actions of any kind against the employer with any court of law, local, state, or federal government or agency. This is actually interesting because, it is your right, and I'm going to say this a lot. It is your right to file claims with an agency, with
Mhm.
like, for example, the labor board, et cetera. And by trying to make them say, hey, I haven't filed, it's like, well, no, maybe you have, and that's your right. And, you're allowed to do that. And that's just fine. So it's one of these things. You're going to see this a lot where they try to make it seem like you can't file claims that you lawfully can file or claim.
So basically, they're saying if they haven't paid you yet and hand you this document, then you can't go back and say, "Hey, yeah, you owe me money for hours worked." You can't go back and say, yeah, so I know payday was 2 weeks ago, and I did work last week. You owe me for last week. Nope. You can't. Nope, can't do it. You're fired. We're not obligated to pay you for that week." Bullshit.
When you really can. Now, all this says is they haven't filed. Doesn't say they won't, but it's still an interesting representation to tuck in there. This is another one too. Has not made any claims or allegations to the employer related to sexual harassment, sex discrimination, sexual abuse, or none of the payments set forth are related to sexual harassment or sexual abuse. Okay.
Wait a second. Are they hiding something in plain sight here? That's oddly specific. That is oddly specific.
Let's talk about this, guys, because I guess let's be real. Now, you know me, I focus on the facts, not the allegations. But because there's information out there that enough people have put out there about creepy behavior
Creepy behavior, yeah.
from certain people at VShojo. What I want to say here is that this is a subtle intimidation tactic to keep people from filing these sorts of claims.
Right.
However, if they were subject to true harassment, power harassment, quid pro quo, any sort of sexual workplace harassment, discrimination, they absolutely have the right to file and should
Yeah.
file those claims.
Mhm.
And that is absolutely their right, and VShojo cannot stop them. This waiver cannot stop them. Nothing can stop them from that. So if those did happen, once again, I'm
Yeah.
not saying they did.
A piece of paper, a contract does not stop you from, will not stop you from saying that, hey, yo, a law was broken. Okay. I was sexually harassed in the workplace. You know, they threatened all this crap if I didn't do certain things for them. And no, this contract would not hold up in court in any way, shape, or form. If that's, I just find that oddly specific. Hey, yo, yeah, you can't claim any sexual harassment. Okay, regardless if it happened or not. If it happened or not, it doesn't matter. Hi, Thundy. Thanks for checking in. You know, it doesn't matter if it happened or not. But you know, you can't make any claims now that you're fired. Bullshit.
I don't have enough facts to say this for sure happened. I don't. No Google document in the world that's going to prove that to me. It needs to be in a court of law. They need to see evidence, etc. All I'm saying is, if there are allegations that are true and someone wants to report them, they still can, even if they sign this waiver. And for those people out there that might have been scared by the waiver, you should contact an attorney
Mhm.
and you should say, hey, I know that I got paid out by this, and I know this is a big, scary agreement, but I was harassed, and I feel like I need to report this and seek justice. Right?
Yes, bro. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if? And because like again, this paper would not. If a crime happened, a piece of paper is not going to be able to stop in the court of law someone from reporting that crime. But can you imagine if like VShojo paid somebody hush money and then they still went to court? It's like, yo, thanks for the big lump sum and everything. I'm still taking you to court for this.
Right? Because they should. Right? They should. Now, this is
Be like, oh
this
no,
something that
I'm
is
not going to tell
standard?
anyone.
Well, yeah, in
Anyone.
most contracts, you don't have to put it in there in a waiver, but you can. But I think it's put up in the order here, perhaps for a reason. It's number 2.
There we go.
Sexual harassment and discrimination and sexual abuse are put above hours and wages. Look at this. Right? It's put as number 2, B. Wages and hours. That's C and D. So usually wages to me is put up. So the fact that they put this up here means they're really concerned about this.
Yes, it's like they're
really concerned.
I feel like something actually went on.
What's up, Rima? Do we have a horse girl popping in? Do we have a horse girl in the chat? Do we confirm our horse girl? What's up, Rima? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you as always. Good friend of mine. All right, let me get some super chats to continue. Sigarin says, hey, we all know if Legal Mindset joins an agency, it'll be Sox VTuber agency. Obviously. Lewis Guy said my wife and I had to move because of non-compete. And non-competes, people say the FTC banned them. People are still trying to put them in there. There's ways you can get around them. There's loopholes, etc. Yeah. Right? However, states are generally taking hard action against them, and courts are looking at them not favorably. So even if you had an existing one, a lot of them are not taken seriously. But some of them are. In certain states, they are.
I'm happy. I'm happy for that.
A state that will sometimes uphold non-competes.
And I'm happy for that because of the fact that I got just from like I mentioned earlier, I got absolutely royally screwed over non-competes. With seriously, can you imagine like making like $60,000-$70,000 a year, and then your contract folds, and instead of being able to be able to get a new job in your field of work, you can't work for 6 months. A lot of people won't even hire people if there's a work gap that huge. You go, you hand them your resume, like, yo, why weren't you working for this point in time? I was under a non-compete clause. They're like, oh. Yeah, well, a lot's happened in the past 6 months as far as tech is involved and everything. We're not sure if you're up to date, so no. I've had that before.
So VShojo intentionally is trying to, and also other types of agreements, is also trying to lock them down in a certain way, right? Because a non-disparagement agreement is sort of, in many ways, it has similar tones to a non-compete, because you're saying, okay, I can't talk about XYZ, right? But we'll get into that. Big Buddha says Silvervale said they asked her to pay them or give back assets that weren't fully done when she got them after she left, when they tried to give her a 64 deal. Exactly. And that's part of the return of property clause. And that's exactly in line with what Silvervale said. So this is checking out. You can confirm something, whether it's true or false. Everyone's going to say, oh, Legal Mindset made this up. Listen, guys, I got too much stuff to cover, and I am way too lazy to make stuff up. This is the genuine article.
Yeah, I'm way too
And when
lazy.
you tie it to what Silvervale
Why do you
said
think
and the others said,
I'm getting
it's
all my
gonna
money from
confirm it.
YouTube?
When
You think
put
I'm
the
doing actual
pieces
law stuff
together,
now?
you're going to see, oh yeah, this makes sense. This is why they're
I make more
saying
money
that.
doing
It's gonna
this.
all click, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is why my Oshi can't talk right now. This is why my Oshi says it's in my.
You see, he talks about how lazy he is, but I still find it funny. He actually does his YouTube videos in a suit, no tie, but still in a suit. It's probably like a jacket, and he's sitting in a jacket with his boxers on.
Lawyer's hands, right? Oh my God, dude, it's VShojo. Yeah. Mr. Pedoxum says the amount of Legas Corpo was evil the whole time. I'm still seeing is crazy. I never trust him from the beginning. And listen, not all corporations are quote unquote evil, right? Not all corporations are evil. However, we do have to understand that even people with good intentions, sometimes people with good intentions can be the ones to run the most wrong. Let's move to the next page.
Good point.
So separation benefits. So this is what they got from all of this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is very true, guys. This is very true. Okay, so for all of this, so you have to have what's called consideration when you sign an agreement.
Okay.
And consideration means something in exchange. If you're going to make a bunch of promises, you have to get something in exchange for those promises. And typically that's money. Sometimes it's other stuff like property or stock or other assets, but typically it's money. So what did they give this person? They gave this person $6,600, a lump sum payment in US dollars of 6,000 less taxes. So they probably got like 4,000. I mean, I don't know what taxes are exactly in under the law that's relevant here, but maybe like they got 4,000 or 3,000 after taxes and everything else. This is not a ton of money, but once again, I don't want to downplay people's earnings. That might have been a month or 2 months of their earnings. I don't know. Typically, when you are separated, when you are fired, essentially, if they're going to give you money, they give you a month, 2 months, 3 months. So I'm assuming it's somewhere between 1 to 3 months of their pay.
Not me. My contract ended, and they just said, "Fuck you, get out." They just said, "Fuck you." But then again, that's the life of a government contractor work. It's like they're not going to give you money that they didn't. They're not going to say, "Hey, look, we know we're screwing you over. Here's something to to tide you over until you find a new job." Nope. You're done.
Somewhere between 1 to 3 months of their pay.
And then on top of that, some of these companies, they give you like stock options and whatnot, and and they'll give you like stock options as long as you're an employee there. And then they'll, hi AJ, how are you? They'll give you stock options and everything, but it's like they'll just straight up like, oh yeah, and all your stocks automatically being sent back. So we'll just add the little bit of stocks. We're just automatically buying out your stocks. You have no choice in this. That's another thing I felt stupid, because I worked for Starbucks long enough. I had stock options in Starbucks. And then when I left Starbucks, I wasn't fired, but I left Starbucks. They just said, and we're taking the stocks back.
My guess could be 2 weeks. That would be really stingy. But I'm guessing it's somewhere in the 1 to 2 month mark. Okay. Yeah, that's right here.
So yeah, they had 6 days to pay up a lump sum, for the separation. And again, for those just joining us, this is not a talent contract. This is a staff contract that got leaked, a staff separation contract that got leaked. But a legal mindset did say that there's a lot in common to the talent contract. So we're going over it anyways. And he's like kind of like comparing the two. He can't really go over the talent contract. He was asked not to, But he says there's a lot a lot in comparison, so we're going over this one too,
So I'm let's go here. So the employee can also get COBRA coverage, which is essentially continuing coverage after you're terminated.
right?
So this is continuing healthcare coverage, right? To the extent that they would have that. Now, for example, the talent would not have this. So the talents are not going to get healthcare, you know. And think about this too, guys. The employees are getting all these benefits and all this money and even payments out at the end. The talents get none of this,
Yeah,
right? They
talent
don't get
first, y'all.
healthcare
Talent first, y'all. We get health coverage, you don't. You know, we get health coverage, you don't. We get separation pay, you don't. In fact, you have to. We want you to pay us back so we can pay our legal fees.
benefits. They don't get lump sum
Talent first.
payouts. In fact, they haven't been paid at all.
Yeah.
So that's even worse than this agreement. So here you go. No payment will be made or begin before the effective date. And this last one, which is super important, which is upon the employee's request, the employer will provide the employee, a prospective employer, with a written confirmation of their employment with the employer. So including the dates of the employment. This is very interesting. And this is something that's a life lesson for you guys. A lot of people want to get a good recommendation from an employer.
Hmm.
Well, spoiler alert, they don't have to give you a good recommendation. All they are legally required to do is confirm you worked there and the dates you worked there. And
Yeah.
that's all they really normally do because
True.
it is a
That
liability to say
Yeah.
anything about you, even something good that could be misconstrued as something bad. It is a liability. So all they do is confirm the dates. That's it.
This is true. This is actually more. I mean, he didn't say it, but this is more of a legal thing too. I get calls all the damn time about former employees of where I work. I get calls all the time, and it's like usually it sounds like somebody who's not from around here, and not from around the U.S. But I have gotten a call all the time. I'll be working, I'll get a phone call, and it's like, hello, I am calling, I am so and so, and we're calling in regards to application we got from this person. I'm like, do you know this person? Like, oh yeah, yeah, I know him. Okay, was he a good employee? I'm like, I can't, I legally cannot tell you that. Okay, I can tell you that yes, he worked here, and he worked here from this time to this time. But other than that, I can't go any further into I can't go any further into details. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they'll try to rephrase it and then rephrase it and then rephrase it and rephrase it and rephrase it and rephrase it. And it's like, no, I am not going to give you that information. And I'm like, yeah, we're beyond the scope. I've told you what I can and can't share with you. We've gone beyond the scope of the limits of this phone call. And now I feel more uncomfortable answering any more of your questions. So you have yourself a good day, and I'll hang up on them. But I get this all the damn time. It's like, was he a good employee? Was he on time? Was he I can't tell you this. Legally, I cannot tell you this. It's like, um, I don't know why certain people think that I'm just going to just going to casually try and skirt the law on this matter. It's right there, black and white. I cannot legally give you that information of whether he was a good employee, why he was, if he was fired or not, why he was fired. I can't tell you that. Not anymore.
That's all. And so if you think this is something that's so important to get in the agreement, it's really not. They have to do that anyways. Um, let's see here. Riza said good morning or night or else. Thank you. Okay. Let's continue here. The employer acknowledges the employee acknowledges and agrees the benefits exceed what the employee is otherwise entitled to receive from separation. And the benefits are given as consideration in exchange for executing this agreement in general release.
Oh my goodness.
The
No.
employee further acknowledges that the employee is not entitled to any.
You're not entitled to anything. We are giving this to you out of the goodness of our hearts. Go fuck yourself. VShojo, go fuck yourself. No, you're not entitled to anything. We're doing this out of the goodness of our hearts to try and make you as comfortable in your separation as possible. Yeah.
any additional payment or consideration not specifically referenced. Nothing in this agreement will be deemed or construed as express or implied policy or practice to provide these benefits to any employees other than the employer. This is some shit. So this is money they would probably have to pay them anyways. It's probably, if they took this to the labor and they made a labor claim or other something else, they would probably have to pay them that money anyways.
Right.
They pay that money with this agreement to make it easier and quicker and faster. So it is probably not above and beyond. They probably had some other unreimbursed expenses. They probably had some travel stuff or maybe some other stuff that they paid for or needed to get paid for that they weren't paid for. I guarantee you this is not much beyond what they would be owed under the law.
Mhm.
And once again, I'm not saying these clauses are necessarily horrible, and I'm not saying that this is like not standard, but what I'm saying is even with a standard contract, you need to understand what is true and what is not true and what is BS, right? Because some of it is BS. And part of the contract is making you believe the BS.
Right.
I like the Spike Man for 10. Thank you. This is disgusting. Some of it, it's never Niji level, but it gets worse in that it's insidiously, it's, what is it? The banality of evil, right? It's like,
Right.
It's
The
like so
wording
plain
is
and vanilla
terrible.
that you just glaze past it. You don't think twice about it. And that's the real danger with a lot of things. You just don't think about it critically. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys, not just for VShojo, but for your lives when you're signing a contract. You really need to read it and say, is this really right? Is this really true? Probably isn't. A lot of contracts overreach. Separation, Elpire Ava for 2 said the separation contract's asking for the moon. Yeah. Doug Diaz for 10 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much for the support. Please say thank you if you received a gift of membership. Yes. Puerto Rico 51 says, well, just like the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. That's awesome. I think I saw like the trailer on my Netflix. Looks interesting. But yeah, cool.
I like how someone just randomly put that. Oh yeah, I was just listening to a soundtrack.
Let's continue here.
Nothing to do with
we've got a employee's release of claims. Now, oh boy, I'm gonna read this to you, but let me just tell you guys.
Okay.
If you've ever signed a waiver, let's say you played paintball, you've gone, skydiving, you done anything remotely dangerous, even like go-karting, you probably signed a waiver. Mm-hmm. This language is in almost every waiver. So just understand that anytime you sign a waiver, they're going to want to tell you that you're disclaiming all claims and everything, blah, blah, blah.
All right.
That's not true. If they're grossly negligent or they intentionally do something wrong, and in this case, remember, based on my last stream about VShojo, we have the Carfax that Gunrun knew, and that Gunrun knew for a long time, and the top leadership knew for a long time there was a problem. There was a problem for a long time, including taking from charity. At that point, it becomes either grossly negligent or willful, intentional. So the waivers will never cover claims or anything else arising from that sort of behavior that is grossly negligent, willful, etc. So just understand that. Let's read through this. The employee is irrevocably and unconditionally, fully and forever waiving and releasing and discharging the employer, that's VShojo,
good Lord,
including the parents, affiliates, subsidiaries, predecessors, successors, assigns, and each of their officers, Gunrun, directors, employees, shareholders, trustees, and partners in their corporate and individual capacities, because they're afraid of piercing the corporate veil, from any and all claims, demands, actions, causes of actions, judgments, rights, fees, damages, debts, obligations, liabilities.
We're not responsible for anything
of any kind whatsoever.
You can't hold us responsible for anything.
And the releasers may or may not have ever had against the released parties or any arising against them in any way related to the employee's hires, benefits, employment, termination, separation, by reason of any actual or alleged act, omission, transaction, practice, conduct, occurrence, or any other matter from the beginning of time. From the beginning of time. Since the beginning, the Big Bang here, people, or whatever you believe in, spaghetti monster, inception, whatever, and to include the date of the employee's execution of this agreement. Okay, so once again, they all try to get out of this. It's standard. I'm not going to blame them for standard language. I would put this.
I love that. So, we're not responsible for anything. It's starting from the beginning of time itself till now, until the world ends, until the galaxy explodes again. We're not responsible for anything. You can't hold us liable.
In a waiver too. but understand there's limits to this, right? There's limits to the going back to the Big Bang, right? Yeah, from the top of the moon. Like,
since God
come on,
spoke
come on.
everything into existence.
Patrick S says, would it federal label laws trounce whatever state laws are? Yes, correct. If they're violating a federal law, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. You're on point, Patrick. Watching Tilly's for 20 days Corona. This contract is basically, we would lie. Yes. Mr. Paradoxive says you should make a big dono goal and the reward being a Phoenix Wright cosplay. Oh man.
Yes.
I feel like I could get my hair. It's long right now. So I could actually do Phoenix Wright if I really tried. Okay. Let's continue. And we're almost to the goal though. We're at one away. Thank you guys for that. One away. One yellow away. Okay, this one is crazy. So this is really nuts. So in this one, they try to say these are all claims. So this page is a list of laws that they say we are not responsible for any of these and we are waiving claims under these. I'm going to tell you right now, objection.
Yeah.
There is no way in hell they're going to get out of some of these. Okay? There is no way in hell if they actually violated them, like genuinely and truly violated them, right? They're not going to get out of this. Let's read through them. Title 7, that's discrimination. If you discriminate based on race, sex, or national origin, your little waiver is not going to get you out of discrimination.
Americans with Disability
Americans
Act.
with Disabilities
Are you
Act.
serious?
If you kick over Timmy in his wheelchair,
bro, I feel okay. The Americans with Disabilities Act. I personally deep down feel that this was put in there because of Iron Mouse. I sincerely believe this was put in here because of Iron Mouse and her disability. I do. I really do. I really do. Even the next one, the Family and Medical Leave Act. I feel like this is put in here to cover themselves because of Iron Mouse's disability.
You're not going to get out of the ADA.
There's no fucking way.
Family Medical Leave Act. If you screw over somebody while they're pregnant, right? That's not
okay. I don't know about that one,
or
but yeah.
Family Medical Leave Act also covers many cases like veterans or people that are going off abroad, right?
Okay,
for
well,
service,
maybe not
right?
that one.
You screw over a member of the military while they're on, mandatory military service. That's not going to work either, right? Once again, the Fair Labor Standards Act, the Equal Pay Act, the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, the Civil Rights Act of 1991. In Section 1981 of
we don't have to follow that.
Just know the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That's a federal thing. The Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification, the WARN Act, the National Labor Relations Act, the Uniform Services Employment and Reemployment Act.
No, you're not getting past USERA.
The Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, GINA, or GINA, whatever you like. If you like GINA, that's fine, or GINA, that's fine. I'm okay either way. Immigration Reform and Control Act. Let me tell you this: if you're hiring illegal workers, the
what?
ICE is not gonna let you be like, oh, hold on, boys.
Hold on, it's in our contract.
Since they have a waiver, we're not gonna deport this.
It's not our contract.
We're not gonna deport this one because they have a waiver. No, ICE is not gonna be holding the brake. ICE is not pumping the brakes on this one. Okay. Oh, they have a waiver. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. We can't deport this guy.
Sorry, he has a doctor's note. His doctor's note can't do it, guys.
Too good.
Can't do it, chat.
It's really too good. I mean, sometimes I wonder if these
tomorrow
contracts
tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow and Friday are my long streams now.
Happen.
Thursdays and Fridays.
Sorry, I was laughing there for a second. Any claims under the Texas Labor Code, including the Texas Payday Act, Texas Anti-Retaliation, Chapter 21 Texas Labor Code, Texas Whistleblower Act, the Washington Industrial Welfare Act, the Washington Law and Discrimination Act, the Washington Family Medical Leave Act, the Washington Leave Law, the Washington Minimum Wage Requirements and Labor Standards.
Wait. We're gonna violate minimum wage because we have a waiver.
Of the Washington Equal Pay Opportunity Act, the Washington Fair Chance Act, all of these and any other regulations, including impending ones, right? like ones that are coming.
We're not beholden to the
in
law, you
future.
guys, at all.
Federal, state, local, or foreign, right?
We're not beholden to the
This
law.
is crazy. This is crazy. This is not going to happen. This is definitely not going to get you out of those things, like for sure. But they want remember, the point is they want the talent to believe. They want the employees to be intimidated. They want them to think, oh yeah, I can't report them for whistleblowing. I can't go to the labor board. I can't go to the workers adjustment and retraining program.
Professional streamer.
They're not true.
Yes, I am.
And people.
Yes, I am a professional streamer. I'm very professional. Nothing here is fun and games. It is all professional here. Back to the video.
Will sometimes read these contracts, think these things are true, and be very intimidated by them. But don't be. Don't be. It's all right. One yellow, you say. Thank you, James, so much. I like the Spike Man pretends to drop something. Please help these girls if you can. I'm trying. Once again, Spike Man.
You're my professional.
Help in a different way than the lawyers. They all need their own lawyers. I'm not their personal lawyer, and I don't want to be. I want to be the guy raising awareness, and that's the most important thing. Because remember, their lawyers can't do what I do. If they did what I did, it could be construed as a ethical violation and violating their confidentiality requirements, attorney-client confidentiality requirements with their client.
Hi, introvert.
So if I was Iron Mouse's lawyer, I couldn't talk about VShojo at all. I couldn't. So I'm doing something from the outside that nobody else can do, right? Or that you can't really do.
And God bless you for that legal mindset. Really. How you doing, intro? Welcome in. Rising Hell Moon, how are you? How's it going? Go ahead and check in, by the way, just so you know. Go ahead and check in. That way you guys can get counted. That way you guys get counted. At least for the next half hour. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. Yeah.
When you're.
Yeah, we gotta do things to make sure that that Twitch, sees you as an actual viewer. It's like, really? You just can't come in and chill anymore. You gotta come in and we gotta force y'all to interact. Come on now.
Like that. I can do it, right? And I'm not afraid of Gun Run, right? He doesn't scare me. He's broke, right? If he had enough money to go around suing people, he'd be doing it. He's not right now.
You do.
He's
yes, you do.
Not totally broke, but he's relatively broke. And he's in a very bad position. A very bad position.
It is wild right now.
So does this clause negate the whole contract? No, it doesn't. It's not.
No, it doesn't.
I get what you're saying there. You can have one bad clause. There's actually, I didn't include it in here, but there's a clause called severability. Severability means if one clause is found illegal or impermissible, it's a naughty clause. It's a bad clause. It's been naughty.
It's a naughty clause.
All that happens.
Is that like a dirty version of Santa Claus, the naughty clause? Oh! Yeah, shake that Wii remote. Get a nice firm grip of that Wii remote. Anyways, moving on.
What happens is that clause is deleted. So when a judge looks at this, they would put a big fat X over this section, but the rest of the contract would be valid to the extent that it's legal. The other illegal sections would also be X'd out. That's how severability works. It means that the pieces can be severed and it can still be a valid contract. Good question, though. Very good question. Charlie Spur for 5 says, I got off easy. My contract covered only since the asteroid that killed the dinosaur.
Going to the base on that, all the way down. Leave nothing unshaken. Okay, introvert. Okay.
The dinosaurs still live. Have you eaten chicken? Every time you eat a chicken, thank the dinosaurs. Bleats Cinderdie for 10 says, from time immemorial, there was the tale of VShojo, a tale of hope, pain, and alleged charity embezzlement. Alleged. I have to say alleged because that would be potentially defamatory.
Kind of jelly.
Says, we want you to sign this totally unfavorable waiver. Yes, and unenforceable too. Waiver. Yeah, that happens.
Unenforceable.
You're going to see stuff pushed in front of you that is illegal or just not enforceable. Big L for 5. So this is one hell of a shotgun blaster attempting.
Yes.
Isbitsky says VShojo. Yes, we would like to be immune to all labor laws. Please and thank you. Yeah, that's not a thing. Oh, I would like to have a magical spaceship that farts unicorns and drops gold, but I don't have that.
Yeah.
Right. And no contract is going to give me that. Matt Sif, thank you. Marksman 117B says, can't convince me this leak wasn't Buddha's last act before he passed. Count Dankula's dog. R.I.P. Chaos Spreading Pug. Not even VTuber corpors are safe. Hey, R.I.P. R.I.P. to all the doggos out there. Okay,
Yeah.
more attempts to get out of everything from VShojo.
Let's see here.
Attempts to get out of all claims for compensation, including all claims for wage, salary, bonuses, commissions, incentive compensation, vacation, or severance. So they could use this.
There it is, chat. There it is. Oh. All right. Everybody's getting a turn, getting a grip on the Wii remote. That's great. It's great. It's great. Anyways, yeah, there it is, chat. There it is, chat. The you can't claim anything. We know we know we didn't pay you, but now that you're separated, you can't claim your pay. Notice it didn't say anything about charity. I'm pretty sure I'm somewhere in here. Somewhere in here they would include the charity. Like wages, bonuses, commissions, vacation, severance. Yeah, no, I mean it doesn't say anything about the charity though, which is interesting. But it is saying that, yeah, the money that we owe you, you can't claim that now. Which is crazy.
To try to get out of the charity fund. They could try to say, oh, the charity fund was really bonuses, commissions, incentive compensation, vacation, or severance. So they could use this to try to get out of the charity fund.
Oh,
they could try to say, oh, the charity fund was really sort of payment. Remember, while this is not a talent contract, I guarantee you they are putting similar contracts, severance contracts, separation contracts, agreements in front of the talent who are treated as independent contractors or gig workers, something that's non-employee, but they still had a contract with them. So they would want to have a severance, an end of employment or end of arrangement with them.
Right.
Any and all claims in tort, contract, or quasi-contract, including breach of contract, wrongful or retaliatory discharge, fraud, defamation, negligent or intentional emotional distress, tortious interference, or breach of covenant of good faith, fair dealing, estoppel. Wait a second. So you're trying to say that VShojo is allowed to defame you in any way that they want, and we're going to get to the non-disparagement.
And you can't say nothing back. I know I said I wasn't planning on doing this entire video, but I'm kind of invested now. Just reading that, it was like, oh yeah, we can do everything we can to destroy you, but no, you can't say nothing back. Nope. Here's the paperwork. Here's the paperwork. You can't say shit. Unenforceable
clause. It's coming up, guys. But so VShojo is allowed to talk all the smack about you and allowed to commit fraud. Fraud. Do you see that there, guys? Fraud. No, I'm sorry. No, they're not. Fraud is a crime. They cannot do that. They cannot do that. They cannot get out of fraud. Nux says, this is the virtual contract I saw. Wasn't a clause for scamming charity. Yeah, this is a different one than perhaps you saw. You haven't sent me your Nux. Sent me yours. Send me the one you have. You didn't send it to me. Send it to me, senpai, on Discord. I love you. But no, this is a different one, bro. Probably if you didn't see that. But yes, fraud. It has fraud in here. What's up? Say hello to the Blue Demon. James is a new member. Welcome. Patrick says, is this even legally valid? I thought you can't use other state labor laws. You can try. Patrick,
you can try.
You can try. But to a certain extent, even if you try, the court will still say, no. California laws apply. So despite the fact they're going to try to use Delaware corporate law, and there's spoiler alert, they're going to try to use Washington labor law. That shit doesn't fly. Sorry, I'm going to put some in the swear jar. That baloney does not fly.
You said the word.
Because
You said a bad word.
there's
Legal.
a certain point at
You just
which
invalidated your entire video.
labor
No, I'm
law
kidding.
applies to where you are and where the headquarters is, where the employees are working out of.
I
And a lot of the
trusted you to
employees
be
are
a
working out of
clean. I trusted you to be a clean VTuber. No, the veil has been shattered.
California, or we're, presumptively working out of where the corporate headquarters would be. So this is why I'm saying this is complicated, because VShojo is going to fight and try to say, hey, the proper venue is in Washington. So let's say you're, we'll just pick somebody, Kason or Iron Mouse or whatever. And they want to bring a California claim because that'd be really great for them. Or maybe Iron Mouse wants to bring a Puerto Rico claim, whatever. And they're going to say, no. You have to bring it in Washington because we said so. And this is a sort of procedural little needling that they do when they're fighting you. And this is the annoying part about dealing with corporations, is the procedure. And it can cost tens of thousands of dollars just to figure out which state to have the lawsuit in. Are you getting it, guys? Are you getting how corporations kind of screw you over? Big Naughty for £5 says, never ask a man his salary, a woman her age, or a VTuber fan what happened in 2025. That's very right. Mayhem says for 5.
Too much
How
happened in
contract was
2025.
struck down with the
Booba
old thing is thrown
swipe.
out? Can you have 90% of a contract severed before they enforce the remaining 10?
Well, I
If
don't
the
have Booba,
10%,
but
usually the thing is, if
I don't
the
have-
payment terms are bunk,
I don't have Booba, but I got something else you can swipe. Just saying.
if the payment is an issue, they usually will throw the whole thing out. But let's say it was 90%, but they could get it down to just the payment side. They might be able to do it, but it depends. Typically, with 90%, they're going to throw it out. Typically, if it's that bad, if it's Niji Sanji level, they're just going to throw it out. But with this contract, once again, a lot of this language is standard, but in the context, they probably added a little bit more to the standard language. In the context, especially knowing there's charity fraud, potentially, it reads different. It hits different, right?
Okay.
Nicholas Atkins says, when this gets to court, their only chance is getting their fingers in the judge's mouth. There's a Nux reference. Is this Korea? We're not covering the Somali trial, Nick. Calm down. What is this? Soon. We may have an update on that soon, actually.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So even though they tried to exclude all of these things, the contract itself tells on itself, right? So you can see here, it says this general release excludes and does not waive any right to file a civil action or complaint with a state agency, a public prosecutor, law enforcement, ding, 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 charity fraud, or any court or governmental entity alleging claims or rights under the Equal Opportunity Commission. That's there.
Wait. So this thing just said you can't do any of this stuff, but you still can do it. You can still do it, but you can't. But you actually can. Oh my goodness! Who wrote this paper?
As well as claims that cannot be waived by law, such as unemployment or workers' comp. And there's more than that. They're underselling it. They're lying. There's way more that cannot be waived by law than just unemployment and workers' comp.
Exactly.
This is underselling it. Way underselling it. And the right to file an unfair labor practice under the National Labor Relations Board. Wait a second, guys. The National Labor Relations Act. Hold on. Where did we see that before? Oh, wait.
Yeah, the list of laws that they said they
right here.
The list of laws they said they couldn't.
I thought this whole act, I thought you can't file anything on this act because I said that right here, National Labor Relations. Why do you openly admit here that you can file a claim under that?
I say you can't, but you can.
Is it laziness? Or is it just like you just copy pasted? Which one was it? Because it's one or the other. You definitely copy pasted, guys. Come on.
All right. Good night, Thundy. Thanks for stopping in.
And any rights, pension benefits, etc. So what this is admitting, it's telling on themselves, saying, hey, look, listen, there's certain things you can't waive no matter what.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like one thing you guys can't waive is smashing the like button. Okay, guys.
All
What
right,
are you doing
fine,
on YouTube?
fine,
We got a
fine,
link
legal
for you
mindset.
today.
Fine. You know,
Smash a
look,
like button. It's the
look,
least
look.
you can do for good old
Oh,
Uncle Mindset.
I'm not subscribed.
Good
What
old
the
Uncle
fuck? No.
Mindset. The least you can do. Just smash that like button.
All
What
right,
are we
all
at
right,
here?
legal. We got you. We got
Let's
you,
check.
bud.
Do I have to shame you guys publicly? Because we have 2,000 people and only 700 likes, only 680 likes. What is that? Is this amateur hour? What are we doing here? Do you guys even appreciate me? Do you guys even respect me? Do you guys even respect my authority?
Do y'all even respect me? Do y'all even respect me as your streamer? No. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love you guys. I love you all.
Come on. Come on. All right, let's go. Okay, here's a knowledge. This is a acknowledgement. So this is saying, hey, the employee specifically acknowledges that the employee has read the agreement in its entirety. That's required. You have to have knowledge. And here we go. The employee has been advised to consult with an attorney before executing it. Now, while that language is in there, I guarantee you they tried to get him to do it without that. Very few companies. Now, I'll give a little shout out to like Phased. I know there are a couple other companies that actually encourage them to go do it and like actively help them, like say, hey, look, don't go get a lawyer here, like go do it. Right. There are corpos that are cool and they go out there and they do it. By the way, I fulfilled my my obligation to chat. I did DM Sakana, right? I did
Okay.
DM Sakana. Let me see if I can prove that here. Can I do that?
Back to the video.
Okay, I did that though. He saw my message. I said, chat maybe DM you, obligation to chat fulfilled. Seen on Friday. He saw that. So Sakana knows. But that said, yeah, the cheater, yes. He doesn't regret anything. How many jurisdictions are they claiming? Three. Delaware,
jurisdictions, something.
Washington
and
then, of course,
California.
they are also in California, factually.
Yeah.
Raven said, why would anyone sign an exit contract? Because they want the money and they threaten them with the money. Why they sign it is for this. $6,600, which is less taxes. So that's probably about $4,000. So they sign this for probably about $4,000. Maybe even less, maybe $3,000 because of taxes. Right? So that's why they sign it. So they're, once again, add more waiver language in there. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Let me go back here because I don't want to spoil that one. We'll save that one. Let me get the super chats and we'll go.
Okay.
I remember the Scott says no. Yes. In fact. Yes. Matt Siv, welcome as a better one. Eagle Series, for Mexican 50, who has better lawyers. VShojo needs you $7. No, I would say this. VShojo does have better lawyers. They have a real law firm. But I don't know whether I think they just used a template and they didn't try too hard, which once again, I don't blame them. I've used templates in the past, but when you really go down and dig into it, templates have holes and templates are a result of not really caring about, the employee. They try to treat it like a cog in the system and they just give a template agreement. And what's going to happen is you're just going to get picked apart before thousands of people on the Legal Mindsets channel. That's what happens.
Right. And then on top of that, you try and take any of it to court, people are going to look at it and be like, bro, we've seen this a million times before. Okay. No. Maybe you can enforce this, but no, and no. All right. So what do you have left? So the company's name is VShojo. All right. Okay. Well, we'll give you that. Hi, Wally. Welcome in. How are you?
Euro says, so what curse can I use now for? I hope your Oshi signs of VShojo.
Wow.
I think Voctor is still around. I think Voctor is still trying some.
I hope none of y'all wish I wish that kind of pain on me. Good Lord. You know what? You're so awesome, Syntax. I hope one day you join VShojo. I'm like, bro, dude, wow. What did I do to hurt you? What did I do to hurt you?
Like shenanigans. I think Voctor's like going on a suing rampage. I may have to go back on that one because they're like suing everybody now. That's pretty crazy. Big L for 5 says, how does Texas law fit in this? Not use that jurisdiction. They're throwing it in there. Once again, they're trying to go for all jurisdictions. They're trying to cover their bases.
Yeah, covering all their bases. Yeah.
All right.
I'm surprised that they didn't just Syntax and the V-Twinks. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm liked enough by the V Twings. I mean, I would I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no. If they invited me, I wouldn't say no.
Non-disparagement. Boy, I wish I got that water. I'm regretting that water. My water's in the other room. Non-disparagement. Here's the one.
So is
and
mine. I need
here's
to get my
why
water.
Your Oshis are not speaking, guys.
Uh-oh, here we go.
This is why they're not talking. It's why Iron Mouse and them, Case on the, I'll be quiet. The employee, I guarantee you, this is in the agreement for employment. I can't 100% confirm it because I don't have everybody's individual, but I'm pretty sure. Let me put it 99.9% sure that this clause is in everybody's contract, including your favorite talent. Right? Don Baca says, rough night, last night, rough night every night. Good to see you, Don. Good to see another little hammer, one of my mods back in here. So the employee will not anytime make, publish, or communicate to any person. That means even in private or entity or in any public forum, any defamatory or disparaging remarks, comments, or statements concerning the employee, its business, or any of its employees or officer managers now or in the future. This is huge. That says, hey.
But, big caveat, but as we saw in a previous legal mindset video, they can't even afford bankruptcy. They can't even afford to enforce this. They can't even they don't have the money to even enforce this. Even if if any of the talent or any of the staff comes out and says, yeah, you know what? You can't even afford to sue me. I'm just going to fucking spill the beans. And they just spill the beans, unless like Gun Run or any of the higher up staff be like, you know what, I'm using my own money to sue you. No, then the company can't enforce it. And then if a Gun Run or higher staff, does go after them, oh wow, we just pierced the corporate veil ourselves. So no, that is kind of a pickle that VShojo's in right now.
You can't say anything, if you had allegations of harassment, including sexual harassment, we don't want you to communicate this. We want you to talk about that. It's disparaging. If you want to talk, you can't talk bad about Gun Run. You can't talk bad about, Mr. Not lawyer, in-house lawyer, who was, negotiating things. Yeah, this is why they can't talk. What this means is, in any public forum, that means X, that means YouTube, that means Twitch, that means anywhere else.
Yeah.
Is this illegal? A lot of courts don't like this. And also, if the law is being broken, that is not enforceable.
It is not enforceable
at all. Let me say this
again.
If a law is being broken, the non-disparagement clause is no better than toilet paper. You can.
Hi, Mr. Gravestone. How you doing today? How are you? Welcome in. I love that phrase. It's no better than toilet paper. I mean, true. It's true. You can't enforce that. This is just a hot air right now at this point. Especially if they embezzled like that $500,000 in charity funds. Oh my god. They can't say they didn't know it was going to charity. They can't say that. They knew damn well it was going to charity. And if they just said, screw that, we're going to use it to pay ourselves. We're going to use that money to pay ourselves. 2 whole days now. Oh no, I hope you can feel better soon. Yeah, I hope you can feel better soon. You don't have anything serious. All right.
Wipe your butt with it. Okay. And in this case, I would say there's some butt wiping they can do, because this is a case in which there are clear examples that need to be turned over to law enforcement, like the charity fraud part
Yes.
or the regulatory stuff. NDAs, waivers, they don't cover that.
Nope.
Be in Chirac in 2 weeks. Stay safe. And yes, NDA doesn't cover crime. That's right, Danielle. Actually, for 10 says I missed the stream till now, but is it safe to assume these contracts aren't as bad as we all thought they were? Keep up the good work. Yeah. So once again, actually, I've called it the banality of evil. Sorry, the banality of banality of contracts, right?
Okay.
Or the evil of banality, perhaps. It is the fact that they are so vanilla that you will take them at their word instead of question them critically. And what I'm trying to educate you guys on is to question everything you're signing, whether or not it's legal. And that applies to your personal life as well,
Okay.
not just to Hiroshi. Starblot said, first super chat to anyone ever. Just wanted to say thank you for your hours of educational edutainment content. Thank you for that.
Yes.
For that too.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
Gigabase. We try to be edutaining here. We try to keep it interesting because look, contracts are boring. I know most of you would not read this contract if I didn't walk you guys through it. I don't blame you.
No, I wouldn't. I probably
But there's
wouldn't.
layers to this.
I would actually.
There's
I would.
many layers
I
to
would.
this.
I would, and I would offer my own contact, my own thoughts on it, despite the fact that I'm not a lawyer or anywhere legally trained. Well, I'm a little, but I deal with entertainment law. I was kind of trained in entertainment law. Kind of have to do that with a film degree, so you have to know, what you can and can't do in movies. But as far as, I mean, I guess this would fall under entertainment law in a sense because this is an entertainment industry after all. So, but I would add my own thoughts, of course, with the preface that I'm not a lawyer and what my opinions on the matter may be wrong, but a lot of what I've been saying has been either backed up by legal mindset. Like I would pause, say something, and then he would say like 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
So here we go. They also try to say you're not waiving any rights under the relevant state law. And then, there's remedies. And what this says is very important. In the event of any breach or threatened breach, this is why they're threatening the talents, guys, because this is probably in there as well. By the employee of any of the provisions, the employee consents and agrees that the employer will be entitled to seek a temporary or permanent injunction
Oh my God. Now,
against a breach or threatened breach. So they probably went around and said, hey,
you
if
breach
do
and we'll
this,
sue you.
We're going to go file an injunction against you, and we can get legal remedies, monetary damages, and even we can get our money back. So
Bullshit. You can't even afford a bankruptcy. How? Answer that. How?
if you screw up here, we can get our money back, our little $4,000 back or $6,000 back, right? Lorella said, was the kitchen sink included when writing this? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Here we go. Now, here's the big one, guys. Pay attention. Governing law. This agreement and all matters arising out of this agreement related to them, whether in contract, tort, or statute, are for all purposes governed and construed by the laws of Washington, including the statute of limitations, without regard to any conflict of law principles that require laws of other jurisdictions to apply. Any action or proceeding of either parties to enforce this agreement shall only be brought in state or federal court located in Washington. The parties irrevocably submit to the exclusive jurisdiction of these courts and waive the defense of inconvenient forum to any action or proceeding.
I don't see that flying. Basically, what that said is, the only state that can handle any kind of legal matters in this document is the Washington state law, which I honestly don't think could ever fly. They could, again, like you say, they could try, but he did point out earlier that this is a company that was registered in Delaware, is HQ'd in California, and is trying to run off of Washington state law. Those are 3 different states, 3 different jurisdictions. And try to waive a whole bunch of of laws from different other states like Texas and stuff like that. They're not. They're trying to spread that umbrella as far out as possible while funneling everything into Washington state law, which would probably act more favorably. They did a little bit of research to find out which state would act more favorably for the company in case something were to come down. I don't see this flying in any way, shape, or form.
So they decided to go for California. Oh, sorry,
Oh, Washington.
for Washington instead of California. Why is that? Let's talk about that. Choice of law. VShojo chose Washington over California. California's where
Oh.
the headquarters is. Why don't they use their headquarters? Well, because Washington has much more favorable laws than California. And I can attest to this too. I worked at a company that had many operations and businesses, locations in California. California, and I mean this in a very whatever way, it's very pro-labor, very pro-plaintiff in a way, right? It's difficult to operate for businesses. And that can be good and that can be bad, right? There's pros and cons, whatever.
Right?
But they chose Washington for a point, despite the fact that, as far as I know, and unless you guys can tell me otherwise, I don't think they had any physical presence in Washington at all whatsoever. That
No.
they purely chose that as a legal forum. Why? Because the employment requirements, the wage and hour regulations, and the non-compete clause. And also this applied to the disparagement, right? California law does not look very well on non-competes. And they also don't look very well on disparagement clauses. In fact, non-competes in California are pretty much totally prohibited. And they really don't like the non-disparagement stuff. Because here's the thing about the non-disparagement. Let's go back to the non-disparagement.
We can talk shit
Will
about you.
not
You
at
can't talk shit about
any
us.
time make or publish any statement. This is meant to last forever, with no limit on it. That's kind of a long time. It's kind of a long time. But here's the reality. And this is something that Gun Run needs to live with, and they all need to live with. And yes, they're registered in Delaware, which is, once again, they're everywhere. VShojo cannot escape some of the mandatory California labor laws. Yes, they may be able to get out of contractual claims, and this is why it's so complicated for the talents, because they may be dealing with a multi-state lawsuit. They may be trying to sue or trying to do stuff in California, in Washington, and in their home state. Let's say it's Texas, or let's say it's Puerto Rico or Georgia or wherever else. So they've got a super complicated legal field here. And they're asking their lawyer, which may be a local lawyer who may not know the laws in California, Washington, to handle this. It's complicated.
Well, and then on top of that, you know, it would make it financially more difficult for a talent to try and go after them for like wages lost. It would make it way more difficult financially because you gotta pay for a Washington lawyer or a California lawyer or your local lawyer. You gotta pay for all of that. And they know that your average talent is not going to have the money to do all of that. Some might, some of your really huge ones might, or even be able to raise the funds to do it. But your average VTuber, no, they're not going to have that kind of financial power.
So VShojo's trying to dodge here, but they're not going to be able to dodge everything. Is it legal? Kinda, yes, but also the court may decide no. And a lot of times they put stuff in these contracts that the court will just say, no, you're in California. The California labor laws apply here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Axie said, wouldn't read it. Mate, we can't read. We have you for that. That's true. You guys are, hold on. Where's the clip? I've got the illiterate clip. It's here somewhere. Here we go. Tenma.
Do you even know what you're saying? Card man? I don't even understand. I'm fucking illiterate. Do I look like I know how to read? No. I don't know how to read.
This is chat.
That's cool.
That is, Tenma is chat right now. Tenma is 100% chat. Criminal Splash says, has anyone announced a criminal investigation of VShojo? No, I haven't heard yet, but once again, there probably would be a lot of investigation going on beforehand and probably some mediation, etc. So while it hasn't been announced, look, listen,
They're probably still gathering evidence.
Crimson Splat. And once again,
This could take a
they
while.
can bring that 6 months from now, 3 months from now. They've got time. This is something that can cook. Let it cook.
This could take a while, yeah.
Mr. Paradoxon for
This is a
10.99
slow
says, as a
roast.
lawyer, how tasty does lawsuit look if you're a talent's lawyer? To me, it looks like a slam dunk. This kind of looks like a judge with the book at him. Yeah, no, and to me, the judge is not going to look favorable at this when he looks at the totality of the evidence. Because look at my other streams. We've seen what they said in Discord behind the scenes. We've seen they knew, and everything is calculated to put pressure on the talents. Guys, like Kason said, talent first, my ass. And that's quoting Kason. That's not swearing because I'm quoting Kason. Okay, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
I love Kason. It's great. But it definitely looks like something that they can get them on, but it's complicated. It's not as simple as it seems. Hugger Sugar for 50 Swedish krona. It's all about the money. Money makes the world go round. Get paid if you're hungry. Nothing ever slows us down. Thank you. Himo Koshaku for 6 euros says, if a lawsuit is multi-state, does it or when does it turn to federal? That's when it would be, right? It's potentially, if the amount is enough, in controversy is enough, then yes, it could be multi-state. It could be federal. Sorry, it could be federal. So yes, that's a very
that's good to know.
Master X Doof for 5 says, HQ in California, choice of law in Washington, registered in Delaware, employee in Texas, Canada. It's all over the place. Yeah, it is all over the place.
Yeah.
Banky says, water break time. Protect your handsome voice, please. We're getting through it. We're on the back end, so I think Uncle Mindset can stick in here for you. I'm tough, guys. I'm tough. I stick in here for you. Simple.
Uncle Mindset.
I do it out of love for you guys. So just like the video. Maybe if you want to subscribe, I would appreciate that. We're on a voyage to 400K. We're making good time on that voyage.
He needs to get that 400K. He deserves that 400K.
Hey, if you want to throw,
he deserves that 400K, y'all.
I'd really appreciate that too. But
subscribe. Like go, like the few of you I have, go subscribe, please.
Matt Siv for £2. Or sorry, 2 euros. Not in the Eurozone. This will reach the talent of their council. Oh yeah, I think they're watching, and I think they know. And there are people that watch my streams that pass this information around. My streams are watched. Okay, so yes, and I know that the VShojo is probably watching this. They probably got some goon watching this. Remember, the people that like your content are watching, but the haters really watch.
Yes.
So I guarantee you there's some VShojo folks watching. Charlie Spurs says not defamatory because Kason has a nice listen. No comment. No comment. Axie, that's a new member. Thank you.
No comment.
Thank you for that. All right. Let's continue. Here's some no admission of liability. We didn't do nothing wrong.
Did VShojo just become a didn't do nothing? We didn't do nothing.
That's what they're saying. Nothing in this agreement will be construed as an admission by the employer of any wrongdoing, liability, or non-compliance with any federal, state, local, city, or local rule, ordinance, statute, or common law, or any other legal obligations. So saying, hey, we ain't admitting to nothing. Here's a good one. All notices.
Make sure he shot that cop, but he didn't do nothing.
Will be sent in writing by personal delivery. That means by hand delivery, meaning like a process server, or by regular mail to the address, which is Odin Law and Media, 4600 Marriott Drive, Suite 520, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27612. This is their attorney.
Their attorney isn't here in North Carolina.
Now, I'm not trying to disparage.
I was going to make a joke, but no, I was going to make a joke. I'm like, yo. But I was going to make a joke, but the thing is like, no, in light of that last cosplayer who made that joke, and if I have time, I'll go over that as well. Actually, I don't have time, but we'll go over that tomorrow. Yeah, a cosplayer made a terroristic kind of threat at a convention on a rival's booth over the energy drink, over gamer subs, and got arrested. We'll go over that video tomorrow. But yeah, I was gonna make a joke and I was like, oh wait, nope, not gonna do it.
Their attorney, they looked at their website. They look like they're running.
They are hop, skip, and the jump away though.
Competent operation. I even saw one person that I may have met at some point when I was in North Carolina. It may be possible. Their name sounded very familiar. But that said, they're a real law firm. You can look them up. They're there. So that's their actual law firm. Now, whether or not, and let's be really clear, the law firm may have provided a template
It does
And
sound like a
they may
template,
have
yeah.
filled out the template and changed it. So we don't know if their law firm did all of it or if their in-house lawyer, who's not a lawyer, revised this and then put this out.
So let's just go over this again. They are registered in Delaware, HQ'd in California, are going off of Washington law, Washington state law, and their law office is in North Carolina. Yeah.
I'm going to put money because corporations are cheap. They probably got a template and they had their own little guide tweak it or twerk it, whatever. Maybe he was twerking.
Yeah,
Who knows?
VTC twerked it.
Anything's
Yeah, he
possible
twerked it.
in VShojo. I'm not ruling anything out. They did charity fraud. They could be twerking in the office too.
We know what
Totally
legal
possible.
mindset's mind is on now.
But they do have a real lawyer at some point who is on the on the line for this. Here's a good one. Attorneys' fees and costs. If the attorney breaches any terms of this agreement or the post-termination obligations, so that means forever, that means right now. The reason why I'm protecting this confidentiality is because they can come after them and look at what they threaten them with. And this is pretty, whatever. You guys will see. To the extent authorized by Washington law, the employee will be held responsible for payment of all reasonable attorney's fees that the employer incurred in the course of enforcing the terms of these agreement.
Well, they can't enforce it. They don't have the money to.
Contracts enforcement. So saying if they break this agreement, they're going to charge the employee attorney's fees, right? Once again, not necessarily unstandard, but do you understand why they would be scared, right? From the talent's perspective, if they read this,
that is a scary
and you're an
clause,
employee or the talent, because I guarantee you there's a similar provision in the talent contract. I guarantee you that I can.
That is a scary clause.
Can you not understand? Let's say you're a talent and you're young, you're in your 20s, you're maybe, whatever, maybe you're 21 or 20, maybe you're 19, who knows? You're young, you read a contract and you're scared. Because you say, oh my God, if I break this, they're gonna sue me and charge me attorney's fees.
Yeah, they're gonna come for you with
scary.
everything.
That's very scary, right? And I can understand why people wouldn't want to speak up because they're afraid of that. And once again, they should always work with their local attorney. But this is the type of pressure that these contracts keep. And they keep this instance and this appearance that, oh, if I go report the sexual harassment I faced to the
they're going to come at me with everything they got.
They're going to sue me for attorney's fees. Well, no, that's not what happened. That's not legal. They can't do that. Oh, if I report charity fraud, they're going to come after me for attorney fees. That's not okay. That's never okay. Right? So just to understand, that's the perspective here. Modification or waiver. Actually, let me get some super chats first. Joseph Villarreal become a new member. Welcome back. Actually, Hiyumi Koshaka became a new member. Welcome, thank you, and appreciate I earned your membership today. Andy Bradley for £10 says, if VShojo thinks insanity, can they blame it on Facebook? Yes, it is indeed all FaceConnect's problem. You can quote me on this. In fact, clip this out. The VShojo controversy is all due to the bungled mismanagement and the Menhera insanity of FaceConnect. It all points back to Face. If you search through the connections, you will find that FaceConnect is behind everything.
Everything.
Factor. It all comes back to the fish man. Why? We'll find out one day. Coffee company, my ass. All right. Modification or waiver. No provision of this agreement may be amended or modified unless the amendment or modification is agreed to in writing or signed by the employee or by an authorized representative of the employer. No waiver or by either party or of any breach of any condition to be performed will be deemed a waiver or similar provision, nor will a failure or delay by either of the parties in executing any right, power, privilege under this agreement operate as a waiver that precludes exercise of such right, privilege, or power. So what they're saying is everything's got to be in writing. Why is this important? Well, this is important because there were a lot of promises that were probably made by Gun Run, the management, the executives, and none of those promises
were in writing.
None of those promises are legally enforceable on their face. Now,
okay.
they may be now that there's crime involved or there's extraordinary behavior, etc. And the judge may look at some of those promises and say, yeah, you promised a charity money. So despite the fact there wasn't explicit agreement over that, it's legally binding, right? But they're trying to say, hey, this agreement is everything. Now, that's not entirely true. Right?
No.
But that's what is important here is there's probably a lot of stuff, and this can happen with you guys too. If your boss tells you something and makes you a promise, make him put it in writing. That's
exactly.
Always,
bro. The amount of promises I get made in every job that I get and whatnot. Look, for example, when I worked at Starbucks, what we always push for people to follow their dreams and whatnot. I was fresh out of film school and everything, and I told my boss flat out during the interview that my primary focus was putting my film degree to use. If I said, and I was like saying, like, if something comes down the pipeline where I might get a film gig, that I am going to prioritize the film gig. Yeah, we push for people to follow their dreams and blah 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 blah. The second I got a film gig, my schedule was I had the most Spartan kind of schedule. When I told my boss, I was like, "Hey, I just got a film gig. We're gonna, I need X, Y, and Z days off so we can work with the group on it and everything for pre-production. We're not filming yet, but I need these days off to do pre-pro. We're meeting on these days at this time. Would be very appreciative if you gave me these days off so that I can go put my film degree to use as we agreed when I got hired." And my boss put me on schedule 7 days a week for 3 weeks straight, and then threatened to fire me if I didn't show up. So yeah, yeah. Oops, the hell? Ad block, get out of here. So yeah, I learned that, and even with my current job, I said, do not flip flop me schedules. Do not flip flop my schedule. Don't have me close one day then open the next day. Don't do that. It wrecks my sleep schedule. And all I want is 5 straight days working and 2 straight days off. That's it. Doesn't matter what 2 days off I get. It could be, Thursday, Friday. It could be Tuesday, Wednesday. I had Sunday, Monday off for the longest time. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I need Sundays off. So you're working Sundays and you're going to have Mondays and Thursdays off. I'm like, that's not what we agreed to. We really need to blah, 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 blah. And you need to be a team player. I'm like, no, it's not about being a team player. I told you, we agreed on what we set this up to be. And now you're going back on it now that I'm employed and you think you own my time. Absolutely not. Oh, I fought it and I got my 2 straight days back off again, starting, Thursdays and Fridays now. But I was like, you put me on this, and I like I said, if you want me on morning shift, you put me on morning shift. You want me on night shift, put me on night shift. Do not flip flop me back and forth. And they tried flip flopping me back and forth, and I raised a massive stink talking about this is not what we agreed to. If you can't uphold what we agreed to, I'm finding another job. And I still work at the job, and now I'm just solely night shift. So, always get it in writing. Always get it in writing.
Right.
So
Not an
right
email
there.
even like a contract signed by both parties. Brandon Hunt says, definitely twerked it. Twerking is legal lingo now. Entropy 9 for RSD 1000 said that crafty fish man. You can't keep getting away with this. That's right. Iceland for 10 says, always thought Sakana was fishy. Joshua Real says it was an upgrade. YouTube was weird. Thanks as always. My pleasure. My pleasure. And thanks for the upgrade. Upgrade is very, very.
We got to finish the video because I got to get ready to go
Hello.
soon.
Beso department.
Very base. So thank you for that.
We got to finish the
All
video
right.
so I can get a. Oh, that's it. Okay,
Last
cool.
but not least, what do we got? We got the sign page. So just so you guys know, and you can see it's kind of legit contract. You got the SIG block for VShojo and SIG block for the employee, which this thing was signed. But I'm obviously not showing you the signed version because that would involve some doxing. So I got you the clean version there. Axie said VShojo lost it all because Pippa posted feet pics and Bakura bought a monkey. Never forget. Oh, listen. I have never forgotten.
Patting monkey とかさ。
So that is what I have from the parts I can show you. I will say one more thing, other than the fact that if you did like this and you want to consider supporting me, please consider hopping over to my Ko-Fi and supporting the Mindset team, including our lovely mod Danielle and all them that support us. I want to help give back to those guys. So if you want to help support me over here, that will go wonderfully towards the team on my Ko-Fi /Andrew Esquire. But aside from that, what I want to say about some of the parts I didn't show you is that the VShojo contract overall
Got another 5 minutes.
meant to pressure, and I say this in a very specific way. It is meant to, in a way in which the talent or the employee, regardless, because once again, they're going to be similar, right, would look at it and think, hey, I cannot go and report things. I cannot whistleblow. I cannot turn things in. And that is not true. And what they all need to know is they are all able to go and do those things. And I hope, and I know, because Iron Mouse has a lawyer, so she's doing well. I'm sure Kason does it well, the big ones. But they all should know that there are certain things in the law that no contract can get you out of. And do not believe these shyster contracts, these bunk contracts that are out there saying everything, saying they have all the power in the world. And really the truth of the matter is, guys, oftentimes they're pretty freaking impotent. They're very impotent. So don't believe these contracts. Just like Niji Sanji. Yes, this is not Niji Sanji indebted servitude, near slavery contract. No, it's not that bad. But because it's so vanilla, because it seems so standard, it can indeed get you to believe something that's just not true. In this case, that can lead to exploiting talent, which is what I'm against. I am always for talent. Unlike VShojo.
Anyways,
KefVid 2317.
All right, he's gonna do some more super chats. But anyways, we get the gist of it. And oh my goodness, yeah, that was, I did not mean to watch the whole thing, but I was actually invested. Thank you, Lingle Mindset, for that coverage.